What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 39th episode of the Envision Game Podcast. I'm your host, Brad's Gaming. As always, I'm joined by Clownish Joe
Hello, everyone.
and Triple Bravo.
Howdy, folks.
So today's episode is going to be the catch-up episode. So we have to talk about Game of the Month, which was Elden Ring. So since we put more time into it, we can talk about that a little bit more. And yeah, we're just talking about kind of what we've been doing for the past month. Some games we've been playing and whatever else we want to talk about. Keep it nice and chill.
Yes, games we've been playing.
Yes.
Game.
Mhm.
Hey, there's been at
Game.
least two, all right?
Well, at least.
I've played a little bit of Valorant here and there, all right? Just relax.
Impressive. So, well, let's jump into the
More Elden Ring.
old Elden Ring, because pretty hot topic game. Game's still pretty dang popular. Everybody's still loving it. So last time we kind of gave like a spoiler-free, short little rundown of just our thoughts early on,
Pretty much.
right?
Yeah, I was a good bit farther than you guys, but I'm pretty sure Bravo was almost caught up to where I was main story-wise at that point,
Mm-hmm.
even though he's
I
like
haven't
300
beaten the
hours in.
game. I haven't beaten the game.
So we're not
I
going
don't
to
know.
spoil, but I have beaten
No,
the
yeah.
game like a day after we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Brad's even touched it since.
I gave up. Game's too big. Too big. It has the for me, it's amazing. It really is an amazing game. I love it. But it has the exact same issue I have with a lot of the big games like Witcher, where you jump in and it's like you look at the map and you just get overwhelmed.
And to make it
And
even
I'm
worse,
like-
you haven't even looked at half the map.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I just that's what I mean. Like I guess I'm going into it, but I love the game, but me being selfish wishes it was smaller.
God.
That's all.
Blasphemy.
That's all.
Terrible.
Yeah. I think what it is I've noticed my personal preference when it comes to these like AAA titles. I like where it's relatively linear. Like you know what your path is, but obviously there's side content and whatnot. And I don't like get lost when I jump back into it. Right. With this game, I remember I took like 3 days off. I jumped back in, and I literally was like, I don't even know what was the last like waypoint bonfire I sat on. Don't even remember. I have no idea where I was. Don't know.
So,
I couldn't remember.
counterpoint to that, the main way to go, the bonfire will have a nice big squiggly line coming out of it. And it points you right to the next one.
I do remember Brad like chilling in the in the Discord. Basically like nothing to do, just kind of like letting the evening go, just relaxing. Just wanting to turn on Elden Ring, but it just like the weight, the responsibility, the pressure
Mhm.
to like go explore. And I'm just like, come on, man. You can do it.
Okay. I have this weird. I don't even know what it is, honestly. So my buddy has the exact same issue, where sometimes I'll sit down, and it feels like a chore just to turn the PlayStation on, and it's
Yep.
like it's right there. And on top of that, to make things even worse, it's not even like the old days where the controller's wired. It's wireless, and it turns on from the controller, so I don't even have to move. There's just no excuse. And then it's like, all right, well, and then I look and I'm like, I don't want to play this game. I gotta change the game. And I'm like,
All the way back there. And right back to here.
nope. And then I'm like, all right, Hearthstone it is. But
That's terrible.
so
How far did you make it in Elden Ring?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Did you beat the big mage lady?
Yes.
Did you beat the next
If
major boss?
No.
Okay.
So I beat the mage lady, and there might have been a small boss after that, which I don't remember. and that was about the extent of it. But I also have this issue with games like this where I my brain comes up with so many builds that I want to try, and then I'm like, I'm like 20 hours deep into it. Really
Imagine if
want
I'd
to
have
try.
just been a mage.
Yeah, man. Just what would the outcome would have been? I went with dex strength instead of just straight dex. Whatever, like it. Just stupid stuff like that. So I don't know. The it's overwhelming to me to think about the amount of hours I put into it, and I wasn't even close to beating it, and the amount of builds I was coming up with as I was playing it, and it's like I literally just I don't even have the time to beat it once, let alone the amount of times I want to.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think Demon Souls still is my favorite Souls game because it's like palatable for me, like actually beatable.
Yeah,
I like that. It's there's a I think what it is for me is there is a feeling that I get of knowing I finished a game and I can put it back on the shelf. And it's like, all right, done. And that game didn't feel like there was ever an ending. So it wasn't like sad, even though I was beating the bosses and like that's satisfying. There's that satisfying of like beat the game. You get roll the credits or whatever the hell people like to say. Um, and I was like, no, it's just not happening.
Hmm.
I I mean, I have beat the game, and I'm gonna be honest, it Bloodborne is still far and away my favorite Souls game. I thought Elden Ring was gonna be it at the release, and it's not. The final boss in particular really just didn't do it for me. It
Mm.
is probably the worst final boss in all of the games, in my opinion, and
Hmm.
that's on top of two, which had the worst boss before this one. And I don't know, it had some really cool areas. It had some really bad areas, all 50 poison swamps that Miyazaki threw at us. And the fact that I fought the same boss 18 times just did it in for me. I beat the game in about, what was it, about 45 hours roughly.
I think you said the average was. Didn't you say average was 47?
I
I know
was
you
like
beat it below that.
3 or 4 hours under the average to beat it.
Yeah, it was like 47 or 48. You sent me a link, and I
Yeah.
remember it was that. Shows that I am an absolute pleb because your boy was like 35 ish to 38 hours into it, and I beat that mage lady, and I know that's not far.
Yeah, so I will admit I may have a skewed perception because I may have got myself into a point of burnout because I played it so dang much the first few days.
Hmm.
So my viewpoints may be skewed and I may go back to it, a month or so down the road, throw it back in, start from scratch and just take my time. But at this point, like, it's probably not in my top 3 Souls games. The world's amazing, like there's some really cool characters. I really liked Rennie, but it just didn't do it for me. Like, it felt very, I don't want to say empty because there is a lot to do, but the fact that there's like so much repetition made the game feel empty. Like, there's two different styles of dragons. They will throw different colors on their effects and be like, yeah, it's a new dragon. And no, it's not. You fight it the same way, it does the same amount of damage, there's no different status effect. And then half the time it's like, oh, you fought this boss here. Well, there's same ones over here, and over here, and over here, and here. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, now your main story quest, you gotta fight these two bosses that you've already fought 5 times each together. And it's just like, oh, okay. And on top of that, you kill them. If you don't kill them together quick enough, they come back. And it's like, am I playing Dark Souls 2? Is that what the difficulty is? Just throw you different numbers of enemies instead of different enemies? But yeah, it's
Hmm.
the game had some really cool features. I really liked Torrent. I loved Melania and Milena and Rennie, and there's really good characters in it. And the game looks great. I have it on PS5 as well as Brad has it on PS5. Bravo's playing on PC. I know Bravo is probably going to talk about some of his issues he ran into. I did not have a single issue outside of connecting to online servers, which didn't really matter to me the entire time I played it. So that still hasn't changed from our last episode. We mentioned this, but yeah, the game's good for what it is. It's not anywhere near a 10 out of 10. And
Mm.
realistically, I believe last time, like our initial ratings before I beat the game was like a 7 to 7.5. I'm giving this game
Yeah,
like
he's,
a 7, solid 7.
yeah.
Definitely not higher.
I'm actually very curious to hear what Bravo says. One, because I was enjoying myself watching him play.
And
He had
two, he's played a boatload of this game.
that boy. He was deep into it, and I don't know. I literally was having as much fun when I was playing the game watching him because it was like, oh, cool, and can watch it and
Be
not have
stressed
to,
out.
yeah, stress out about this. It was relieving for me. But yeah, Bravo. Let's hear it.
So I like that we all three have a different view of the game, or like the three like heads of judgment. uh,
How
so
many hours you got in?
Elden, yeah, I'll start there. I have 117 hours in the game, and I can't stress enough how much that says about the game right off the bat because this is probably the second busiest I've ever been at my job. So it's basically just been me working, getting off work, hitting the gym for a little bit, and playing Elden Ring, and rinse repeat for 6 days out of the week since we last talked about it. um, I think Elden Ring is my favorite FromSoft game. And I don't think the final boss is gonna like if it's a terrible boss or something. I don't think that's really gonna affect me. I think General Radon is probably my least favorite uh, boss in the game, and it's purely because of the build that I went with. He was just absolutely terrible. Um, I actually beat him the second try once I changed my build, which is something I'm gonna touch on. Not my build, but like my gear, my weapon, my armor, like
Yeah.
shifted around, and he was fairly easy. The first time, once I shifted, I was like, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And then I went in and I beat him the second time. So, and since I'm on the subject, Elden Ring does something really well, and once I fully embraced it, which I pretty much embraced it uh, once I fought Margid, um, was to just like get out of the groove of like standard Dark Souls games where it's just like, you max out one thing, you maybe have two weapons, maybe a third that you just like complete the entire game with. I just started experimenting. I started expanding my attributes and depending on the enemy that I'm gonna fight, I'll switch it up. Sometimes I'll switch up my whole gear set and just go run around with that for a little while. Since the game is not so um, covetous or with like the ability to upgrade your weapons, like there was probably if I totaled it up, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours total where I was grinding. Like what I did was is I would get like 2/3 or like an uncomfortable amount of souls in my pocket, and then I'd like go to a spot and just run this loop. Sorry about that.
The timing was perfect. You like touched your hand and the bell rang. Like,
Oh,
wow.
I think you did it on purpose.
that's the magic. Run a little loop, get the souls or get the runes needed to level up, and then go ahead and level up. So like there's a little bit of grinding, but most of it happened just naturally from me exploring. And if I can make a observation of Joe's playthrough, it's that he went so much faster through the game that the repetition of bosses, side bosses, really showed itself. Whereas my 100, 115, 117 hours in the game, like there's a pretty big gap between these bosses that I fight. Now, I will say that is my least favorite part about Elden Ring is the repetition of side bosses. I would rather I would rather explore these dungeons and it just have like the dead body of a boss I've already beat like laying there. So like like the thing died, whatever it was, it died and the thing it was holding is there. That right there is like more canonical, like it's a better story than like go fight this guy again, like for the eighth time. I just feel like that's kind of cheap. And then of course once you get to certain parts of the game, you have to fight like multiple of the same guys together, and I mean it makes it more difficult, but it's just like at that point you're like rolling the RNG dice to like get your spirit to aggro one of them so you can fight the other one, or like DPS one down faster so you can like it's just not it's not that entertaining to me. um so back to the items real quick. I think I have four weapons that I jump back and forth between, and it's like a super heavy, uh, a regular sword, like a scythe, and the the magic casting tool. And I didn't level up the magic casting tool until like just 10 hours ago in game time, where I was fighting this thing and I really needed to put uh, a a dot effect on it, and I was like, this just isn't working. Like I really feel like that's how I'm supposed to beat this guy. So I went to the smith and I upgraded the thing like 19 times, like clearly under leveled because it's probably my least used item. And then I went and I gave him a dot effect, and I beat him. But that's something that I really like about this game is the fact that I can like switch up my build, and
Mm-hmm.
it's good because the game can be so long. It would be extremely boring, and if I ran through it the entire time with one or two weapons. So
Did you find that it got easier grinding levels the later you got, or was it about the same? Because like the one thing that was surprising to me is back, you think about like Dark Souls 2 as an example. I I don't know how. I didn't even actually grind anything, but like when I was playing it, Joe was watching stuff. He was like, "How the heck are you this level?" Point. I was like level like 72 and I
And
was
he's in
like,
like the fourth area.
yeah, it's like insane. Like but the souls were just coming to me and I was like, "All right, well, I'll level up." Like I didn't and I leveled up my gear too a little bit here and there. I didn't die a ton.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that helped me, but the one thing felt like finding the souls and whatnot just was a lot lower. Like you were given like hundreds rather than thousands from enemies, at least in the areas. Like yeah, there was like that
Yeah.
big giant in the beginning where it gave you like 1,000 or something.
I think I played the game close to the pace, or I am playing the game close to the pace that they intended. There's a couple of times where I run across an area, or maybe I backtrack because I missed something, or like I'm like way too far ahead for a side quest, and I'm like, oh yeah, so I gotta like go spearhead through a side quest real quick, and I just destroy everything in the area. But for the most part, I pretty much average a level an hour. Uh, so I'm like level 115, and I don't really feel the effects of that because I have been branching out. So like my dex is in the high 20s, my strength is close to 50, my vitality is mid 30s, arcane is in the 20s, faith is high 20s. Like I've really just like spaced it out because I see a weapon and I'm like, "Oh, I want to try this out. I want to use it," So I kind of degrade my ability to do a whole lot of one kind of damage, but I can use like most of the weapons that I've picked up, except for like the super like special ones that require like 40 intelligence or something. And I'm in the same boat as Brad, where I see these weapons and I'm like, I want to do a build just for this weapon.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I started the game and went with the samurai, got my Uchi Katana. I was like, oh, I found my favorite weapon in all of the Souls games. And so I played through the entire game with that weapon.
Yeah, I think might be that guy Rogers, like it's like a dagger or something essentially that he has. And I was like, it's clearly like intelligence or something based. And I'm like, that would be cool to run too. And then there's another one where like even Patch's spear early on, like that seems like a weapon that if you get early on, if you know where to go, kill him, and you're building towards that, you could like probably have a real solid weapon because it's like +7.
Yeah, it is.
You
I actually used that
pretty
for
crazy.
a few minutes just because of the fact that it was a +7.
But I will say the game has a massive diversity of items, which is, hats off to them. Like I just am comparing it to the other games where it seemed like a lot of times you would, I'm mainly thinking of like Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, where, you find like a body and it was like, boom, here's the entire equipment set for what this one item is. And now it's like actually kind of farming. It kills some enemies, you get one piece of it. You can end up looking like the enemies and get the boss weapons and this and that. It's really cool. I just wish that it was more palatable for me because I would be playing the crap. If it was like I look at it like Diablo 2, right? Where Diablo 2, if you wanted to run through normal, you could do that in like 8 hours, casually. If I could casually like do a little playthrough, like, not that short, but palatable, like 15 hours or something, I could see myself being like, I'll try this little build and that little build and this, that. And that's if it, I'm not doing the side quest. But
so there is a side quest that takes you through some dungeons that took me 15 hours to go through, all on its own. And that's me like searching like every nook and cranny, like at least going around the border of the like little area map, going down each branch of the whatchamacallit and whatnot. But anyways, let me summarize. I want to say that the game, the initial performance of the game was pretty bad. Open world bosses were almost impossible to fight on PC. But the first patch they dropped was like 1.6 gigs. Whatever it did, completely fixed my game. I only had one issue, one evening, and I tried to jump down into this area, into like this little part of the map, and my game would just freeze immediately. And I was like, what is happening? So it happened a few times where I had to like alt tab out and close the game, and I verified my files and it was like missing 2 little bitty files, and then it was completely fine. So performance of the game is perfectly fine now, and I would personally give the game an 8.5 out of 10. I can't give it any better than that. If they had given a better variety of bosses or eliminated the bosses, would have been a 9 out of 10 easy.
I easily bump it a whole point if they changed that.
Yeah. It's my favorite FromSoft game. Easy.
It's my second favorite.
I think
I like it a lot.
Slides in my fourth. I think Bloodborne, Demon Souls Remake, and Dark Souls 1 are all above it.
Yeah, I would probably give it about that 8.5 range as well myself. So
so that brings us like 8.25 for the cumulative score. But
it's great though.
It's worth
I
a buy.
definitely recommend it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
For sure. I definitely recommend it. If you're one of the weird people that haven't picked it up yet and want
Mhm.
to.
Still not a 10
definitely
out of
worth it.
10. And I don't understand where all the hype came from.
I like the one. I don't remember where I saw this, but I know I posted it to you
Yeah,
guys.
it's like 10 out of 10 is recommending to
Yeah.
get it, not saying it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's still not a game that I'd go to my little sister and be like, hey, this game's so good, you should play it.
Yeah, I didn't recommend it to my buddy. Like I told him it's a really good game. It's fun, all stuff. You shouldn't buy it, but good.
Just know it's good.
I
And you don't
started-
get to touch it.
I started telling people that okay, have you ever played a FromSoft game? No. Okay. Well,
Try it, everyone, first.
maybe you should play one of the first ones. Play the first Dark Souls game. I'm sure it's on sale. Nope, they're all $60. I'm like,
You may as well.
how much do you care? Because
Literally what I told
just
him.
buy Elden Ring.
I literally told him the same thing. I'm like, if you're gonna play any of them, like probably the most palatable one to like test the waters is a little more linear would be Demon Souls, just because it's
I'd say Dark Souls
like,
3.
he has Dark Souls 3, and I think Dark Souls 3 is kind of tough. I feel like Dark Souls 3 is Demon Souls is probably the easiest
Yeah,
game.
but it also, all of the bosses in Demon Souls are gimmick bosses. There's like 2 hard bosses throughout the entire game.
But it teaches you the mechanics
No,
of
it
just
doesn't.
like
It teaches you
fighting
how to
a regular
gimmick.
enemy.
No.
Doesn't matter the boss,
Demon
the regular
Souls
enemy.
is the easiest Souls game by far.
It's the best
But regardless,
by far.
it's a catch-up episode. We caught up on Elden Ring
Yeah.
again. Next week's game of the month, or next month's game of the month for April.
This month's game of the month.
This month's
Yes.
game of the month for April.
This month's game of the month, we decided to do Phasmaphobia. So
It's about time we dragged Brad down this train.
Big Joe is in a horror mode. So we're gonna continue down it, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play it. So
I'm excited.
I literally have
to play it.
Yeah.
I have not a clue what this game is.
That makes it so
I don't even
much
know.
better.
I don't even know what it is. No idea what this game
It's
is.
beautiful.
All I know is that it's multiplayer.
Yes.
We're gonna live stream it and put it on the YouTubes, just for fun.
Yeah.
So if you want to try to catch us live, the Twitch is Envision Gaming, maybe Envision_game. I can't remember.
Yeah, we just changed the name.
Uh,
Regardless,
We did.
we'll tweet it out.
Yeah, it's you can follow the Twitter. It'll ping you, but it's you just catch it if you want to watch Brad scream like a little girl.
I'll never have. I am the strongest man here. You know this. I don't yell. Unless it's a crawling lady.
I tell you what my uncle used to tell me. Real men do what they want, and I want to cry.
Well,
yeah, so I'm excited to see what it's about. I've heard good things.
it's a good game. We'll have to find a fourth to round out the team. Maybe. Yeah.
Gonna be Coco.
Oh, Bigglesworth.
Bigglesworth's coming.
All right, but back to the catch-up episode. Outside of Elden Ring, what have we been doing?
Joe, why don't you?
No.
I see your little smirk.
No.
You're like, I can't wait to say this. I'm like,
I'll go. Mine's really short.
I was
so
mostly going
obvious-
for Brad, but
oh, me?
I like I said, I've been working a ton, and since I don't have the energy to work directly on the bus, like physical labor, I have just been doing mental labor where I am doing like research into the power, trying to source all the material for like the solar to batteries, inverter, how all that's going to work, and it's a little bit stressful because of the world events going on. I really want to get that stuff purchased before maybe some major sourcing problems happen, and it is by far the most expensive portion of the build. So I gotta get it right the first time. So just doing my due diligence. It's kind
Just
of
preparing
exhausting.
for when he's gonna live on my driveway.
Basically, yeah.
Oh boy. So anything else with that, or
No, man. Like it's
wrong.
pretty-
You played some
pretty simple.
Valorant, you liar.
Yeah, it's like a couple matches.
A couple matches more than 0.
Yeah, it's not worth mentioning.
Okay, that's fair.
In my opinion.
I feel you on that. So, I'll go next because I know Joe wants me to go. I'm going on vacation next week, so the boys are gonna be going solo. To give you guys a heads up, there's a chance it'll be based on the BAFTA, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called.
About
right.
you, not about us. All right.
Yeah. So that, and then I got a new job, promotion, I guess you would call it. I don't know. It's just position in the company. So that's nice. As a software developer, so putting the old programming to use. So hopefully I'll get better with that and then actually be even better at programming to make more the Messiah. Trademark
for a sequel to
Super Auto Dude, Super Auto Dude, the ugliest game you've ever seen in your life. Don't even look it up.
It is a cool potion.
I've
actually, I feel like it looks like this guy.
Brad,
yeah.
you have got to get like a game cover like made up and printed out in the size of like a PS5 case and
PS1
put it in like
case.
an empty. Yeah, put it in like an empty case.
I could do that.
Like
I definitely could do that.
Like burn your game to an old school CD.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, we'll see.
Maybe burning
I'll
the game might
it.
be a little far, but do
no,
it.
I want a physical copy.
I'll send you a physical copy if I get to that point.
I want a sealed copy.
So cool.
And then I'm going to send it to get water graded.
That
and they're just going to look at it and be like, what is this?
the one of only the rarest game you've ever seen in your life. So, I purchased one thing. Purchase anything else? No. All I picked up was Silent Hill Origins strategy guide. And if it wasn't that far away, I'd pick it up. But
you gotta show it. You gotta show. You can't just mention it and not show it.
Come on, I gotta stand up.
Stand up. Stand up.
Oh my!
Look at that gut. There it is.
Look at that.
There it is. Baby.
How thick is it?
That's a clean copy.
It's like a magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very clean. Very clean. So, I have one guide left, and I have every single strategy guide for Silent Hill. So that's exciting. Not exciting about buying it because it's expensive.
Oh yeah. Then you gotta get the vinyl records.
That's not happening. Not doing it. Just not doing it.
You don't want to drop $200 on a vinyl?
Nope. I was basically there. I listen. I literally had my finger purchase. All I had to do was confirm, and I bought like 2 of them. But I was like, nope, can't do it. There's no reason. I only have a vinyl record, and I don't have any reason to do it. So, whatever. And then I think last thing to really mention for me, two things, 2 quick things. The one is the day I come back from vacation, the expansion is dropping for Hearthstone, which is exciting because 2 things. One, it's the rotation. It's the first expansion of the year, so what they do is they rotate the 3 expansions previously, so it's the biggest switch up out of all of them. And then on top of it too, it's one of the cooler sets actually. I just like the theme of it. So it's like basically sunken ship, like piratey themed.
Habanero Pirates coming back, baby.
Yeah. They had a lot of new things. So it looks really cool. So I'm excited about it. And I'm sure I'll play it for about 3 days and I'll never play it again because I'm sick of the same crap. And lastly is I actually started a new Let's Play, and it's another Diablo 2 Let's Play.
Surprise!
Big surprise. So one, the hype of the patch 2.4 coming out is going to be end of April. Actually, I think the patch might release a little before that, but ladder is starting end of April. And I'm like, well, I'm just buying in the hype, and I'm actually gonna give the guy a shout out. So, guy Kill Rob on YouTube, he like does these kind of cool themed runs. They're like challenge runs. He's got a guy Runar, the barbarian, who's allergic to magic, so he can't use any magic items. So he doesn't use magic, rare, uniques, doesn't use charms, anything like that, and he only makes rune words, and he tries to run through the game like that. Pretty cool. It's really, it's just something different. So,
Hmm.
I got that going on. It's a guy that basically guy's addicted to gambling, so he only gambles his items. And we're gonna see how deep I can get into the game of that. So it might be a lot of long. Might take a while, but my plan is to do a lot more editing for this and just kind of montage it into a highlights almost reel, because they're the one negative with the Diablo 2 Let's Plays are, while some few people I'm sure like me enjoy watching just through everything. Yes, Joe.
That's me too.
Okay, so you like watching everything, but I feel like it's also sometimes there's so much content, and you're like you're kind of half watching it, like you're like doing something else, and then you come back and you're like, how the heck did he get that new weapon? And you're like trying to scroll back through like the 30 minutes and try to find when he picked up the one weapon, he hovered over it. The plan is to every start of the episode to hover over all the items to show what you have, and then go through and just showcase like, oh, this is a pickup, this is a drop, this is an upgrade, killing this guy, close call, this, that, whatever, and make every episode just like one act. So it'll be, I think, a lot more bearable. We'll see. I'll get the feedback from the boys.
I like the idea of hovering your inventory before and after.
I like the idea
Yeah.
of the gambling man.
Yeah,
I do like that idea.
it's the whole.
I like the like role playing in games of that type.
Yeah, it's listen. That game has so much like flexibility to it. Of like, it's fun when you do a challenge because you can beat the game easily. I've done it a million times. Like doing the role play of it. I don't know. Like I was just inspired by the guy because it was like, oh, this dude is doing it, and it's pretty cool to watch and listen to. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I want to role play also as like a tank. Like all I'm worried about is I want to use the heaviest, biggest, beefiest armor. And I might hit like a limp noodle, but I am,
You gonna give us
like,
some personality and some voice acting behind it, or
yeah, I should.
you should?
I don't.
You should like
I'm
dress
gonna
up
try.
in like the Barb typical outfit,
Well,
like the skirt.
there's no camera, so
I
no cam.
I am eager to see Brad have to pause and read items because he's used to looking for certain things, and now he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, defense. Okay, yeah. Is this good? Is this bad?"
It's still very easy for me to pick out if it's good or bad, because when here's the problem with the gambling, it's 89% chance that you get a magic item, and magic items don't have a lot of like affixes. So the other percent, it's like I think it's 89 and then 9% for something like that, like 8 or 9% for a rare, and then the rest of it's for like a unique. So there's still a chance for you to get good items, but then like there's no chance for me to buy a ring or an amulet for a while, because right from the start, level 1, so the gambling cost scales as you level up. So at first it's like 700 gold, then 1,000, whatnot. But rings and amulets, level 1, 63,000 gold.
Ooh. The depending on your level, you get more items whenever you gamble as well.
So when you gamble, there's a certain pool. So let's say, just an example, there's like the leather cap, leather armor, like a club, basic short sword, whatever. You hit like level 3, the more items go into the pool. You can kind of cycle through it. Then more items, and they keep sending them in. Actually, one thing I learned, and this is, once again, it's the thing I love about this game. there's like you can gain access to better items than you can find. Like there's a very low chance to find them. Like a crystal sword, for example, in Diablo 2 is like something you find in Act 2. Usually towards like mid late Act 2 and like once in a blue moon you'll find it early on. And I was like halfway through Act 1 and I was able to gamble a crystal.
Hmm.
So it's just it's kind of cool, you know. It's like wow, this is kind of opening up another aspect of the game that I didn't even really think about.
All right, I'm gonna ask you one question, then we gotta probably have to move on. What is the best way to grind gold?
Honestly, it's just killing the enemies and knowing you
Mm-hmm.
kill the enemies and you know what items drop that are worth selling. That's basically what the majority of stuff. So like a staff, like the short staffs and whatnot for the sorceress, those usually sell very, very high because anything that has like plus to skills, so like scepters that have paladin skills on them or staffs that have the sorcerer stuff, they will sell for like 5,000 gold, 9,000 gold, whatever. And it just keeps kind of going up. And then also just like the bigger armor pieces, like so if you get like ring mail, sometimes they'll sell for like 3,000 rings.
Or you do the Bravo method, and if you see it, you pick it up.
Yeah. Well, the only
I
have
every stat.
Yeah. So I made the challenge even more. So I literally only gamble stuff. So I can't buy town portals, identification scrolls, potions, anything. All I could buy is at the shop. Your boy's addicted. Got the fever, the itch. He's got to sell everything.
Okay, what if potions drop from enemies?
You can use the potions that drop from enemies and the town portals and whatnot.
But
and then the nice thing,
if you go back to town, you gotta sell everything because you need more gambling money.
I've been saving the potions because let me tell you,
you need more gambling money.
I do need more gambling money, but
within reason, like the gambler has got to drink. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm an alcoholic gambler. I gotta drink my my health pots.
All right,
scotch, baby. Anyways, look out for that. It'll be more fun during watching the roleplay, I guess, right?
I just want to see Brad in the barbarian outfit, just a little skirt.
Yeah.
If you can find me a barbarian outfit for a decent price, I'll buy it.
Deal.
Does it have to be a men's barbarian?
No, that wasn't part of it. He just said for a decent price.
If it's a woman's, it's even better.
Anyway, moving on from Brad, we'll start off with the collection. I've had a busy month. I got back into the swing of collecting and adding to the collection. So, all right, we're going to start it out slow, all right? So first thing, added to my Zelda collection, I did pick up the entire Legendary Edition of the Ocarina of Time manga series, which is really cool, and I got it for a decent price. I've read through about half of it, and, they retcon parts of the game, but it's still pretty interesting, and I've never had a physical manga before, so at first I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's a weird front cover. Like, I never would have expected that. And then I was like, oh, wait, they just make their books backwards in Japan because they can. But pick that up. And then I know this is a heavy hitter for the boys here as Bigglesworth enters the room.
Royalty is coming.
Your Highness, I'm sorry for speaking on top of your entry. But we picked up a heavy hitter for the boys here at the Envision Gang. And if Brad has anything to know about it.
Config music, Bravo.
Hit it!
I'm too tired to remember. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I picked up.
Almost better that way.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, I picked up a complete in box copy of Way Race 64. One, because I love the game, and two, because it's basically like more to chicken 0.8. Like it's not just there yet, but it's getting there.
Problem is this: it's good games. Like
It
you're
is a
like
good game, and it's a minty case. Like we're looking pretty spicy here.
that boy is spicy.
Obviously, we got it inside a plastic box, so it looks a little better, but it's still really good condition.
Get that on the Switch.
Please.
Is it on the Switch?
No. Brad is. Keep your pants on, sir.
I'm about to sell my Switch.
All
let me
right,
tell
if
you.
it ever gets to this to the Switch, as the online library, we got to do.
When?
That'll be the month's Let's Play.
Yes.
Let's Play, whatever.
Yes.
Pickles is ready to leave.
Hey,
But
at least he knows how to open the door.
Look at that. Look at that.
he even closes it behind him. What a gentleman. But I got onto a massive horror kick at the beginning of this month, out of the blue. Just listening to some random true crime podcasts, and then the next thing I know, I'm listening to like 19 hours worth of Silent Hill podcasts and discussions. And so I started playing Silent Hill on the PS1, and I was streaming it over on Twitch. And then we realized about halfway through the game that my capture card is capturing everything super dark. So if anybody knows how to
It's very
fix that,
strange.
first off, let your boy know. It's a Razer Ripsaw HD, but in the meantime, that got canceled, and I'm in the process of getting a new capture card to try and solve the issue. But with that, I then went and picked up a relatively cheap addition to the Silent Hill collection, because I'm going to go through the entire series of Silent Hill, buy the games, finish out my collection as I play through them. So we picked up the Silent Hill HD collection, which is factory sealed, super cheap. You can buy it on Amazon for $20. It's a crap collection, being straight up. It's the worst way to play the games. But the cover art's really cool, and it's a Silent Hill game. It needs to be part of the collection. On top of that, we were more than halfway through Silent Hill 1, so it was time to start prepping for the next game, and we picked up Silent Hill 2, complete in box, the greatest hits for the PS2. Greatest hits being the one that does have the... What is the mode called?
Restless.
Restless Dreams, where you get to play as Maria. I've never played Silent Hill 2. So this will be...
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. It's going in blind. It's going to be fun. But on top of that, another one that I picked up pretty cheap, just add to the collection. On a horror kick, I have to pick up my favorite horror game, which is Resident Evil 2 on the PS4. I do own it on PC. But with the new upgrades coming out, and it coming to PS5, getting the upgraded 4K and frame rate and ray tracing, I wanted to have a physical copy for that, as well as just to have on the shelf for the collection, because Resident Evil is my second favorite series of all time. On top of Resident Evil, since our Silent Hill Let's Play on Twitch got shut down due to the darkness, we did switch over to Resident Evil, which is the game I've been playing most lately. And we're making our way downtown. But we've died a lot more than I thought.
Is that a reference to the song?
Yes. I was hoping one of you would pick it up, but you kind of just looked at me. I was ready to go into a sing along.
I was about to do something, but
I don't want to know.
I don't like a copyright strike. I might hit it too well.
We have to watch out for the wave race copyright with Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo nailed it.
But yeah, so over on Twitch, we've been playing through what was Silent Hill, now Resident Evil. We're going through the entire Resident Evil series, starting with all of the remakes. Since I own them on PC and don't have to deal with the capture card issues until we get a new capture card. If anyone has any good recommendations, let me know. But
Not the one I bought.
on top of that, I mean, realistically, just a lot of working on the house, and then, as always, pretty much every night we get at least a few games of Valorant in. And I secretly have dabbled behind the scenes in a few games of the League of Legends.
Oh.
Bravo is very not impressed. But yeah, that's basically all I've got for the month. I almost played Smite last night. Like I booted it up and looked at it, and I was like, no, this is the devil.
Good boy.
But yeah, so we booted it up. I looked at Jingwei. I was like, she's still here. All right, game's still good, just not good enough for me to play it.
You got a better. You got better. What's the word?
Self control.
Yeah, than I do. It's like Hearthstone. I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, do I do the expansion? Do I buy the new expansion? All right, I'll just buy one of the expansion, but one of it, and then they release more.
Yeah,
Both of them.
every time Smite releases a Jingwei skin, they get a little bit of my money, just a little bit.
It's
But-
not fun.
But I can't not. She's like my favorite video game character ever. So
Held off on the Battleground skin pack at least.
for now,
It's gonna end soon, and it's gonna be gone. I'm gonna be happy.
but
I
anyways,
don't have to look at it anymore.
that's pretty much all I got. I guess one last thing. I got a PS2 for the first time. First one I've ever owned. And it scared me for a minute. It wasn't reading silver discs, but got that all taken care of, and things are going smoothly. So that's it. Growing the collection.
That's it. You're not gonna talk about the other thing.
The other thing.
Joe used women's shampoo for the first time
Get outta here.
ever. Okay.
Nike is not impressed.
Look here.
Nike.
Oh, look at him.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Over here.
He don't
Come
care.
There he is.
Oh, buddy.
Oh yeah.
So we get Bigglesworth and a Nike appearance. This is a rare occurrence.
Mm-hmm. We ought to get them to try to like see each other
That's,
on the
uh,
cameras.
I don't know if you know this, but my cat is the dumbest cat that's ever.
I don't know if
lived.
you've
Yeah.
seen Nike walking around, but
You mean the
have you ever
you mean
seen
the cat
Scooby
that can
Doo?
open the door?
Have you ever seen
No,
Gee.
what is his dumb
Scrappy Doo?
cousin's name?
No, Scooby Dum, the dumb cousin.
Oh, Scooby Dum.
Is it Scooby Doo?
It's Scooby Dum. Dum 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 dum. It's
Oh,
Scooby Dum.
I believe you.
But that's what we've always referenced him as, especially because he's like the same weird silver killer.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, on that note, you guys want to end it here?
Let's do it.
Anything? All
Let's
right.
end it there.
Oh, thank
Not
you,
here,
Joe.
there.
That's episode 39 coming at you hot. Thanks for watching the catch-up episode. I'm your boy Triple Bravo, joined by Clowners Joe and Brad's Gaming. You can yell at us on Twitter at envision_org. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment if you're still here. I'll give you $1.
Open your eyes.
I'm reading.
What?
But you're swaying like Stevie Wonder.
I am tired. Okay, cut it out. We're done. You're cut.